Zoom. What we will be going over, Johan and myself, is really just how to navigate interaction with your learners in this new remote world that we live in. So, like I said, I'll be kind of going over some norms, and I'll be here to navigate the group chat a little bit and participation, while Johan will be going through a live demonstration, how to use Zoom, which we're using right now, but how to use it TK1 interaction. So just to set up some norms, I know you guys have probably been using Zoom like all day, but you'll notice that you're all muted. That's kind of what we recommend when you come into a meeting, is that you're muted, but we would recommend that you share your video so that we make sure that there's engagement. You're definitely going to want to do that with your TK1 learners. You want to make sure that you see what's that they're actually paying attention and doing what you want them to do as you're interacting with them. So you can just toggle that right down in the left-hand corner. It says stop or allow video and mute and unmute. You'll also see other options that you can play around with on that bottom bar. If you're on a phone or an iPad, it's a little bit different. You have to touch the screen to make those options available. Something that I would also recommend for you guys, and especially when you're hosting, is to make sure that you open that participants window and the chat window. If you are in full screen mode, you might just have to exit full screen mode and then maximize the screen, and it'll give you a nice column on the right-hand side there so that you can see all the participants and you can see the group chat. All right, so without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and jump into this live demonstration. We also have a learner iPad to kind of show you what it looks like on their end. We are going to try to pace ourselves a little bit better than the last presentation, so just let us know. You can use different icons. You can raise your hand by clicking the raise hand button, and I'll try to make sure that I'm catching all of those things here in the participants and chat window. If you have any questions, drop them in that chat and we will try to address them as we go. All right, everybody good? All right, awesome. So take it away, Johan.
All right, guys, can you guys hear me? All right, that's all hands. Well, as Anthony was saying, we've been able to find a way with the iPads to be able to Zoom all your learners. This past Friday, we tested out with Ms. Mendonca's class, and it worked. And as of right now, it's working very, very good. In fact, on the iPad, it kind of looks better because if you're used to touching things, it's better than, you know, having the mouse. So the kids will have no problem doing this. So we're going to go over the LF version, and then we're going to get into the learner version. So the way we were able to make this happen is because, as you know, all the iPads, they have restrictions because the iPads were not meant to go home. They were meant to stay in school. So they were only able to connect to the LUSD network. Now that that restriction was pulled away, they're able to connect at home, meaning that the tech department is able to push apps. As long as they're connected to the Wi-Fi, they're able to push any app. So this weekend, most of the learners' iPads, if not all of them, those that were connected to the Wi-Fi, the learners even knowing, they already have the Zoom app. But we were trying to find a way where they were able to connect without having to log in. So this is the way we found it. We found a way to be able to do that. And I'm going to share my screen right now. So the first thing is, if you have not created a meeting using Zoom, then you might want to create one using your school account. If you already created one, then you just have to log in and follow the steps. So let me share my screen right now. And I'm going to be using Ms. Mendonca's class to do this. So I'm going to exit completely so you guys are able to see how you're going to be able to log in here. So So you're going to go to zoom.us. Once you're logged in, it's going to actually take you to your account. So once you set up your profile and all those, set up your password and all those things, this is where you're going to be on your profile. From here, we want to focus on meetings. So we're going to create a new meeting, and we're going to create a link that is reoccurring, meaning that you don't, every time you want to talk to your learners, you don't have to create a link and set up a meeting. So we're going to create a meeting that is reoccurring, that you only have to share the link once, and that your learners will be able to access every time you meet with them. So we're going to schedule a new meeting. And if you have not, if you have a name, you can name it pretty much whatever you want. In this case, we're going to do Zoom test 1.2. Give it a day. I usually just give it a, even though it's really not going to matter because it's going to be a recurring link, I usually just do the following day. So in this case, it's going to be March 24, 2 p.m., even though that's not the way it's going to look because it's a recurring link. Learners are only going to be able to access this link when you are online, when you start the session, when you start the meeting. From here, this is where you want to make sure that is checked. So we want to check recurring meeting. And even though it's going to give you every day until March 30th, you want to change that. Instead of daily, you want to make sure that it's no fixed time, meaning that anytime you you send the learners a time, that's when they'll be able to access your meeting. We also want to take away the password. We do not want them to have a meeting password. So we're going to check that. We do not want a password. And then you have a couple options here. The first thing you want to do is for the K1s, you want to enable a waiting room, which I found it very helpful because if a learner goes in 5 minutes before the meeting starts, then all they're going to see is a blank page saying meeting will start soon. So that way you're not getting messages saying it's not working, I can't see you. So enable a waiting room. And also if you want to record the whole session, you can check right here and it's going to record on your computer. So this is also helpful because if you do an hour meeting or hour session and you want to go back to different points through the hour, something that you forget or something that a learner said or something that you want to go back to, this is very helpful for you to go back on your own time and be able to find that. So you can check that as well to make sure that you're able to record the whole session. Now for 3 to 8, once you start doing that, new participants upon entering is very helpful. For the first time with your little ones, we really don't want to check that. We want to make sure that they're able to talk to you. So we want to make sure that they are on mute. So we're going to leave that alone. As soon as you have that, we're going to double check again. We have a topic. We know it's a recurring meeting, no fixed time, and that doesn't require a password. As soon as we're there, we're going to click save. But before we go there, I want to give time to see if there are any questions. So does anybody has a question right now so far?
I have a question. When I do this, if I need any help, do I contact Araceli from Washington?
So in this case, if you need any help, whenever you're going to do that, you can email Anthony and myself. And you can also contact your BLA, but if you want to contact us, we'll be able to help you.
Thank you.
Yeah, so that gives you 3 options: your local BLA, and then either of us will help as well.
All right, so I don't see no more. Yeah, so I don't see no more hands. So we're going to continue. So once you have that, we're going to click save. And it's going to give you an option to add it to your calendar. Where we're looking right here is actually the URL. So you see this link right here, that's what we're looking for. Once you have this link, you're gonna copy and paste that link. Now from here, we're actually gonna leave Zoom and we're gonna go to Clever. Now I understand that not all the K1 learners use Clever. Now, if they are using it, this is gonna be very simple for them. If they're not, then we're gonna have some resources available coming up where your learners wanna learn how to access Clever. So you're gonna open a new tab, you're gonna log into Clever. Now I'm using Ms. Mendonca's account to do this, so sign in with Google. And as soon as you log into your own Clever account, you're gonna see the district page, and you're also gonna see your own learning environment page. So as you can see right here, this is Ms. Mendonca's homepage. Whatever she adds to this page, that's where only her learners are able to access. So that's why every LF is gonna have to create their own link to make sure that your learners are able to access this. So no one else will be able to access, only your learners. So as soon as you click here, Ms. Mendonca already has 22 resources. So you can see login status. So far, she has 7 learners today that have logged in to Clever. So that's very helpful too. But we want to focus on the resources. So you see right here on the bottom right-hand corner, you have a little Y, and once you hover, it becomes a blue little box where with a little plus check, you're gonna hit add. And what we have is the link that we got from Zoom, the URL that we got from there. This is where we want to put it. So you're going to click on link. You're going to paste the link right here on the first box. And you're going to give it a name. So we're going to do Zoom test 1.2. Then you can also select an icon. So we're going to select this one for now. Once you have that, you're going to click add link. And you can see that it's already here. So whatever you add right here, that's what your learners will be able to access on that iPad. So when it comes to you being an LF, this is all you have to do so far for your learners to be able to see the link. So I want to stop right here for a second and see if there are any questions.
Sorry guys, my connection I lost it for a minute there, so I'm trying to catch up. I did see some questions about recurring calendar invite if you use the no fixed time. My guess would be if you set it to no fixed time, you're probably not going to want to put that in your calendar, because then it would be like 24/7. So if you do want it to come up in your calendar, you would probably have to go through some other steps. The reason why we're doing no fixed time is when we hit that URL, it's a one-time URL. The link is going to stay automatic. And when we attach it, it's just always going to be available. And then that way you can work out the time between you and your learners as to what time you would be joining together for that purpose.
Any other questions? He says, can you go back and review real quick? Go ahead.
Yeah, the link does automatically generate, and then you just have to copy it. Can you show them that really quickly again, Johan?
Yes.
Where the link is?
So the link, if for example, if we're gonna go back to Zoom because you want to get the link again, you're gonna go to Zoom. You're gonna go to meetings. And remember, we created a recurring link right here. It's Zoom test 1.2. So you can click on that to get more information. And we want to do, this is the link we want to get, the URL. So this is what we want right here. So this is where you will copy and paste, and this is where you're actually going to take the Clever.
Yeah, and if you were going to send it in an email or some other fashion, which is not what we're doing here. What we're doing here is a little bit easier, but if you wanted to, you could see it on the left-hand side there. It said copy this invitation. That invitation could be sent to a specialist or another staff member to team up with you. to be in that invite as well. You would.
I think we lost you there, Anthony. All right, so while he waits, while he tries to come back. So yeah, so you can send it to either the LF or anyone that has access to their learner's homepage. So for example, I'm thinking of a math specialty at Reagan right now. She doesn't have access to the learners, but she's able to send this link to the LF, so the LF can add it to the page, but she's going to create the URL herself, not the LF, but the math specialty in this case. So that way, you able to control the meeting. So when you message your kid at 10:30 and you start the session, it doesn't have to come from the LF account, it has to come from your account. But in order for the learner to see it, the LF has to add it to the Clever page, but it has to be your link, not the LF link. I don't know if that makes sense. Good. So where do you add the link of Clever? So let's go back real quick and I can show you that. So when you go to Clever, you go to your teacher page, which is Ms. Mendonca, and right here at the bottom, this is where you will see the little add or the plus sign. So once you do that, you will click on link, and you will paste the link that we got from the URL from Zoom right here. You give it a name, and from there, you will add the link, and it will show here on your resources for the learners to see. So any questions to that point? We don't want to go to the learner side until we get the LF part done. Yes, and the BLS will be able to assist you with that. So if you need support, especially for the specialist, you can either contact the BLA or you can contact Anthony and myself, and we can help you with that. Good. So I think that covers. Yes, go ahead.
In the comments, and maybe I missed it, but someone wasn't able to see how you put that link in. Can you just do it one more time?
Yes. So on the Clever part, so we're gonna, and I'm gonna exit all the way. So there you go. Share. So I'm gonna exit Ms. Mendonca here. So if you don't have the bookmark for Clever, you can just type Lindsay Unified School District Clever, and the first link is actually the Lindsay Unified School Clever. If not, it's going to ask you for your school. But if you're, and once you click on that, make sure you save it as a bookmark. So there it is right here. This is what it's going to look like. To sign in, it's your Google account, okay? So it's your own Google account. Once you sign in, you have the two pages. You have the district page, you have your LF page. So in this case, Ms. Mendonca has 23 resources. So from here, this is where you will click on Ms. Mendonca. Now you can see all the resources that she has here. At the bottom right-hand corner, you will see the little plus or add sign. So this is where you will click. You want to add the link. And you can play around. You can add apps, whatever. There's so many apps already in Clever that you can have your kids do as well, but in this case, your focus is on the link only. Click on the link. The first box is actually paste link here. So this is where you will paste the link that you got from Zoom, the URL. This is where you will give it a name. And from here, you can select an icon, or you can actually put your own picture here or any other picture, and you will add the link. And once you do that, it will show up right here, just like we have right here. So it's Zoom test 1.2, test 1.2, and that's what we kind of are going with right now. Then you can also click the little heart, so that will be the first thing they see on the Clever page. So that's another resource too.
All right, I'm back. Yay. So hopefully we're good.
And yes, we are actually, so we have the resources that we're going to, the DO already has, district office already have. We have the resources with the video of the LF and also the learner site. So at some point you will have those resources, those videos as well, where you can either send the learner site to those parents so they can see it as well, and they can help the learner get on for the first time. And once you see the way it works, it's super easy. Every kid is going to be able to access this, and it's very helpful. So for content level 2, it's the same way. The only difference is that they don't have these little QR codes, right? So they will log in using their own email. So content level 2, they already know. So the best way to let them know is log in the same way you log into iReady and Clever and Lexia, which is through Clever. Every content level 2 knows how to do that, and they know that iReady, Lexia is there, and they see the teacher resources as well there.
Yeah, there is one added thing with the iPads. We pushed out the Zoom app so that the kids don't have to do anything. It's just automatic. But when it comes to content level 2 and up with the Chromebooks, they may have to click on a button that just says to like download or install it to their Chrome. Once it does, it's a really quick process, and it's a one-time thing that will pop up when they try to access the link, and then after that, it'll just take them automatically into it.
So are we ready to see the learner side? I think that's what we're waiting for. The LS, the hardest part is going to be the LF side, because once you do these, now this is where we're going to go back. I'm going to show you real quick the LF side. So this is not it for the LF side. You have to start the meeting, right? So for example, we're going to go back to Zoom real quick to start the meeting, to find the bookmark. You go back to Zoom, and it's going to take you right here. Once you let the learner know that at 10 o'clock you're going to be meeting with them, and some of the recommendations we have was the first time you do it, like it's up to you again, but the best way, and so instead of having 25 learners all at once, because remember, they're so excited about this, and they haven't seen each other for a couple of days, so the first thing they want to do is talk to each other, okay? So the best way is going to be like what we did with Kayla, was have a couple learners, 5 learners at a time, at different times throughout the day, so you can go through the SOPs and let them know how this platform is going to be used. So once you go here to start the meeting, you're going to go back as under profile, there's meetings. So once you go to your meeting, you're going to just find the recurring link and just click start. And that's all you have to do. So as soon as you do that, now I'm going to show you what the learner site is going to look like. So we have an iPad here, so give me a second real quick. Now let me know if you all can see this right here. Good.
Looks like we're good.
All right. So we're going to go here, and we're going to turn the camera. So right here, we have a learner iPad. So all the learner has to do is unlock the iPad and find the Clever app, which is right here. Once you find the Clever app, they know how to do this.
I'm not sure if it's showing you. Is everybody seeing him or the iPad? Yeah, it switched back to you.
Okay, so on the cameras, yeah, you guys gonna have to, let's see this right here. Let me find, pinpoint video.
While he's doing that, I just want to reiterate, this is why we want to do the open-ended meeting. Like if you're going to just do 5 learners at a time or 10 learners at a time, that way it's just that same link. It's also the reason why you want to make sure you enable the waiting room, because then you can just let in who you want. You'll be able to okay them, accept them into the group, and that way you can control that a little bit more than just starting a session and then all of a sudden 30 kids are in there, right? So it gives you a little bit more control.
Okay, so because we cannot have another session, if you go to the participants, okay, if you go to the participants, you can go to manage participants or go to participants, find Johan's iPad.
We're putting you on another scavenger hunt.
All right, so you go to participants, go to Johan's iPad. That's what is reflecting on the learner's iPad here. Because we cannot have two sessions, this is the best way to show you what the learner is going to look like. So you should be able to see a learner's iPad. So if you just go to participants, you know, instead of go to Johan's iPad, and give me a thumbs up when you found Johan's iPad. Good, 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 good. All right. Good. 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 Perfect. We're going to give it a couple seconds, make sure everyone's able to see that. Good. All right, so the majority is there. So if you just hit participants and look for Johan's iPad, you should be able to see a learner's iPad with all their apps on it. Good. And remember, we have videos of these and you know, better quality, so we'll be able to share those resources. Good. La majority is there.
So make sure you double click on the Johan's iPad so that it becomes the one that you're viewing.
Yes. So once you're here, remember, every learner will find the Clever app. They will click on that. And this is where the QR code comes in handy. Now, once it's there, remember we're using Kayla's, Ms. Mendonca's teacher page. So from right here, every learner will click there. And there we go down, and there it is. Remember the link that we put is Zoom Test 1.2. So the learner will have to click on that. Join a meeting. It's going to ask them to, now you're going to have to approve them. So I'm going to approve them right here. They're going to have to click call using internet audio. There it is. So the learner is logged in, talking to you. It's actually part of our meeting right now. So it may, let me lower the volume so it doesn't affect you guys. So there it is. So now the learners can see all the participants from here. All the learners. And in order for them to see their face, they will start video, touch, start video. And trust me, every learner, if there's one thing learners know, I have a 5-year-old, everything that comes on the screen, they hit okay. Okay, so every learner, one thing they know is hit okay, even if it's a purchase sometimes, but that's what they know. So once this comes up, every learner will hit okay. Now you can see they're able to communicate, they're able to see each other. If they want to see all the kids in the class, they do that, and here it is. So they don't have to log in through anything. They don't have to add anything else because everything is already there. All they have to do is go through the little prompt, so hit okay, okay, call using cell phone, and that's it. The cool thing is as soon as you close the meeting, they're not going to stay and talk to each other. Because remember, that was one of the questions. I don't want the kids to talk to one another once we close the session or the meeting. As soon as you close the meeting, the learner will be kicked off. So in this case, if I close the meeting, let me find it. Where's Reagan? Right here. This is what the learner is going to get. There it is. Once you close it, that's what they'll get. So they don't stay and talk to each other. Now, questions. If you have any questions, you can just unmute yourself and we can hear you.
I have a question.
Yes.
So I'm gonna record myself, and then if I set it up for 10 o'clock, my learners can view it at 5 o'clock when mom gets home, or they have to only view it at 10 o'clock when I'm videoing?
So this is a live video, so they're only going to be able to see it when you have it, when you're doing it. So if you're doing it at 10 in the morning, that's the only time they can do it. Unless you record yourself. Now we're talking about if you record yourself and you want them to see it, the same process we did right here. The only thing you're going to do is you're going to upload that recording to your YouTube, copy and link that YouTube link, and that's a different part of Zoom. So that's not really Zoom anymore. If you want your learners to see something that is already recorded, it's going to have to go through either YouTube because Zoom is a live platform. So you can only see, learners can only see you at the time that you're doing the session.
Okay, thank you.
It's really easy to just record if you know that there's learners who can't get on at the time that you are and they're going to be reviewing with their parents, to record it and then upload it, or like Johan said, to YouTube, or send it in an email link or other ways like that so that they can still get the learning, but it just would not be in time. Or you can do a Screencastify or something like that to send out to learners if you know you don't need them live.
Yes. Any other questions with here? Because I also, there's another feature I would like to show you, but I want to make sure that.
One more thing. I believe Class Dojo allows you to record and then they can video it, you know, later on their own time. Is that something we're considering, or Dio mostly wants us to do Zoom?
I'm not as familiar with that side of Class Dojo, so I'd have to dive into it. This is the option that we're looking at to interact with learners using Zoom. So that's why it's a live video chat, so that it's real-time engagement. So yeah, there's definitely other things. You could use Flipgrid, you could use, you know, if Class Dojo does that, I'd have to look into it. But this would allow you one-on-one or 1-on-5, 1-on-20 if you're adventurous, time with engagement with your learners.
Okay, thank you, Anthony.
So yeah, I'll look into what Class Dojo's limitations are, because I'm not really sure. I've only seen the parent side of when, you know, Dodie or Julie sends, you know, cool stuff and says, hey, your kid's awesome, or they're not so awesome. No, just kidding. But that's the only side that I see. So let me look into it.
Yes. One of the other questions as well is, how does K1 turn evidence? Is that a question you guys have? Right? How do you obtain evidence from a learner in K1, especially with an iPad? Just in a couple minutes, let me show you real quick. One of the things that you will do is the same process we did to share a Zoom link. It will be the same process to share a Google form. The only difference is, and this is what the learner version will look like, then we'll get into the LF. So I want to share the screen here of the iPad. And on the Google form, don't do any questions or anything like that. All you're going to have to do is going to be a file upload, right? So for the learner, it will look like this. So hopefully you can see the screen right now. This is what the learner side will look like for them to turn any evidence to you. So they go back to Clever again. Sorry about my face, but here it is. Just the QR code. Again, we're going to go back to Ms. Mendonca. And you see how we already added a link where it says add pictures. So if learners in Ms. Mendonca's learning environment want to share pictures with her, they will go here and a link is going to pop up. So we can, and because we already did it, this is how it's going to look, except for the picture that is there. And all the learner is going to have to do again is add a file. And in this case, select files from your device so they can take a picture or go to the photo library. So in this case, I can go to photo library, go to all photos, and I can just do this one right here, select done, upload, and it's gonna send it to the Google form. So I think once learners see these and they watch a video and with a little bit of support, they'll be able to either take a picture at the moment or send a picture with you from their photo album on their iPads to you. And that's probably the easiest way that we have found so far. If we found an easier way, we will share that. That's because learners cannot use their email at this point in K1s. They cannot use all their apps that they don't have in this iPad. So the easiest way where they don't have to log in and do all these things is by just sharing a Google form with just no question, just a upload file where the learners can just share that picture and send it to you.
Yes, the form would be a one-time thing that you would have to set up, and then everything would continually flow through that form. And he can show you how to set that up.
So any question on the learner side and how to upload something right now? It's very simple, right? I think every learner will be able to figure it out. They love taking pictures as it is. So if you're looking for evidence, that's the easiest way. They don't have to put any names. They just have to click on the add file, find the picture, and send it. And believe it or not, they know how to find pictures because that's what they do. They take pictures. So on your side, remember, you have to create your own Google form for these. Now, the easiest way is, and we'll figure something else where we can create it, send it to you. You can make a copy and create your own link. But in the meantime, this is what it will look like. So you will, let me share the screen. So to create a Google form, you will go to Google Drive, go to New, go to More Options, find Google Forms.
And yes, we are working on, we do have the video for LF and learner, how to use Zoom. We already have those created, and we'll be working on one for this new evidence piece shortly. And
also, we're going to be working on how the learners use Clever as well. For those learners that haven't used Clever, that'll be something that you can either send to the parent via as a YouTube link so they can see it and support their kids. So, and the Google form here, you just open it up. We can call it evidence. No questions. All we want to do when we go here is change these to file, upload, continue. That's it. Now, I would change these to maybe 5. That way, if they want to send more than one picture and send this to maybe 100. Once you do that, that's all you have to do. Then you just go to send, get the link, and this is where you're going to put, this link right here is where you're going to put in Clever in your teacher homepage as well for the learners to see it. So Google Form is simple again. The learner is able to access it, and that's probably one of the ways that we have found so far to share evidence.
Okay. Any clarifying questions? Anything you would like us to go over again? You can type it in the chat or, unmute yourself. A real quick tip, if you just press and hold down the space bar, it will temporarily unmute you. And then once you release it, it mutes you back.
Anything with the iPads, because I know in the last session we went a little bit with the iPads as well, just because we are having a couple learners that are not able to log into the Wi-Fi. Not because they don't have Wi-Fi at home, it's because the iPads have a restriction. The restriction is that because the iPads were meant to be at the school is that they can only connect to the LUSD network. So if they're not able to connect to anything else, that is because the restriction have not been taken off. So instead of waiting to go to the tech lab and wait for an appointment, they just have to drive to the closest school and make sure that the iPad, and let me show you here real quick.
This should be a very limited few, by the way, but this is just something that has come up that we want to share out as well.
Yes. So they just have to drive out to either the school, the district office, and this is what the learners should be seeing. Once they connect, as soon as they connect to the Wi-Fi at the school, it's going to take that restriction. It should take between 1 minute to 3 minutes. As soon as they can see staff and the neighbors network, then they're good to go back home. That's all they have to do, because they just have to be connected to the school Wi-Fi to take that restriction off, so they can also connect at home. That is the only way that is going to happen, unless they go to the tech department, set up an appointment, and they will do it for them. But if you want them to have access fast and you communicate with them, they just have to drive to the nearest school. They don't even have to get down. They can let the iPad connect to the LUSD. As soon as it connects and they're able to see more networks, they're good to go. So in case you're having those learners, those parents saying that they cannot connect to the Wi-Fi, but they do have Wi-Fi at home, it's because that restriction hasn't been taken off.
And a few days before we went into closure, we actually, as BLAs, went through and tried to make sure that all of the iPads were already good to go, and most of them were. But as anything, there's always going to be anomalies and things that kind of slip through the cracks. So that would be for those people that maybe it was dead the whole time, like the iPad was dead, so it never got a chance to connect to the Wi-Fi. That would be the quick solution. Unfortunately, it does entail them getting out of their house, but they, like you said, they don't have to get out of the car. They just need to drive up and let it connect. So that's just information to pass along. They can, like Johan said, contact the tech department. I'm sure the phone number has been out there, but it's 559-429-8878, and I'll put it in the comments here, and they can assist them as well. But it is a pretty easy fix if once again they feel up to the challenge.
Does this Healthy iPads work in Porterville and Tonyville?
Yes.
They have Wi-Fi, yeah.
As long as they have Wi-Fi, they can connect to either a hotspot from a cell phone or anything, any other network. But if the restriction is on, they won't connect to anything else. They won't even see it. So that's why once that restriction's been left off, and they can connect to anything, anywhere there, anywhere.
So what I noticed is when I was looking at the screen that you showed, it had a check mark on Breeze. Is it going to automatically connect to that when they just by proximity, just by coming to the school?
Yes, it won't connect. Breeze is my network, but they will connect as soon as they will automatically, as long as that let me go right here. Sorry, and I know this is very helpful because again, you'll probably be the one communicating that. If their thing is on right here, the little check mark, as long as it's on, as soon as they get close to it, it will automatically connect to the LUSD iPad network. As soon as they connect, you wait about 1 minute to 3 minutes. Once you're able to see, especially in every school, Spectrum is the main provider for Lindsay. If they're able to see a Spectrum network, that means that the restriction was taken off. Now they can go back home and use the iPad and connect to their network, to their Wi-Fi.
Okay, thank you very much.
How do you guys feel about your learners doing this when it comes to Zoom? Do you think they will be able to get it right away? Would it take a couple sessions? So I'm seeing a lot of good thumbs up. Good. That's good. And like I said, I feel like the learners, iPad touching things is their thing. I mean, they know how to do this. I have a 5-year-old, and she's been the one helping me. And sometimes she does things to my iPad that I need her to undo. So this is very helpful. So I think I really do believe that learners will be able to Zoom, and seeing the reaction from kids on Friday when we were doing this test with Ms. Mendonca, they were exciting. They were showing their toys. So again, you know, for them, this is exciting. They were showing, you know, asking them, can you see my eye this close? So definitely having SOPs will be very helpful for them. But this is exciting.
Right.
This will be very exciting for them.
I did see a question about Empower icon. There is an Empower icon. It's a regular app icon, like on one of the front pages. It's like a grayed out link app icon, but it's not colorful or anything. I think it's just gray and it says Empower. But that is not in Clever. It's just on the iPads as an app icon.
And if you're going to have the learners use Empower, make sure you communicate with your BLAs, because they have to go and reset their account, meaning they have to reset the password. Because if not, the only way to connect to an Empower on the iPad is by typing their whole email and their password. There is a way where the BLAs can reset their instead of typing the whole email, they only have to type their Perm ID to log into Lexia, and the password can be a generic password. For example, we use Reagan00, Reagan, but the BLAs have to go and reset that. If not, you're going to have learners not be able to log in, because it will require them to type the whole email and the password that they probably don't know. So if you're going to have them log into Empower, if you haven't done it yet, contact your BLA and they'll be able to support you in resetting those passwords, so they can be a simple Perm ID and a password for them to log in.
I don't think there was any questions we missed, but if it is, speak up now or forever hold your peace.
Can
Great
I'm
job.
going to advertise that starting in a week or so, we're going to be starting up grade level PLCs, where there's a time every week for LFs to come together that are at a similar content level and dealing with similar content level needs. And Johan and Anthony will be supporting the K1 of these, because we know that iPad usage and things we can do on the iPads will be a common reoccurring theme. So you'll be getting in a couple of days some invites to be able to just come, get together, problem solve, talk about things that are going well, things that you need help with, and we can share out some different technology uses of the iPads that will help as you enter this new journey.
For sure. And that doesn't include TK as well, TK1. But yeah, we're all navigating this together. So, you know, reach out, we're here, and we'll figure it out. We're all learning together, but we're getting there.
Yeah.
I had asked if learners have an app for Google Docs on their iPads.
They don't, because usually learners have not been accessing to and not been going through the apps that they have. Logging through Google Drive, even though they do have the link for Google Drive, it will require them to put the whole email again. So again, that is something that if they learn how to do that, there is no app unless you assign it through the teacher homepage, and it will be a web browser. So there is no app for Google Doc, but they have access through the Safari to get through a Google document, but they will require for them to log in. Unless you share a link that anybody can open that does not require a login, that's different. So if you do create something on Google Doc and take that restrictions, anybody can open it with the link without having to log in, put it on the teacher homepage, and as soon as they log in, it will open Safari, and that's what they'll be able to see, or they will even open Chrome. They also have Chrome here. So one of those two will open, but there is no app.
All right.
All right, guys, is there anything else? Thank you so much. Again, email us and we'll be there to help you.
I'm going to go ahead and add my email in the chat here. It's pretty straightforward, but Toddy and Johan can add his.
Mine's a little bit different, but let me see. It's JOURV. Or you can just start typing my name, JOH, and it should pop up.
So I would recommend playing around with this, maybe with your cohort from your site, the TK one cohort, set up a Zoom, play around with it, it's easier. I found it easier when Johan and I were setting this up for us to have our own Zoom and make the mistakes in that Zoom so that we could learn and laugh and then move on from there, so that whenever we're actually presenting or we're actually with our learners, we have a little bit of experience under our belt.
All right, guys. Thank you and have a great day.
All right.